you got me. So we got to welcome somebody who's in the studio right now, you know. And now, they don't get out very often, you know. I had to pull some plugs to make this happen now. But we got him now. As you hear the music in the background, it's something very inspiring. Shout out to everybody who's listening in the Gambia, Vibes FM 106.1. 4 years we've been doing radio. So salute to DJ Mo and the rest of the crew that's over there. And we just had mentioned that it's going to be another face-off the second Friday of every month. Let me start the conversation right there. Make sure his microphones is on. All right, I'm talking to a junior now. I ain't talking to a senior. Make sure everything's plugged up. You good? Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right. Let's start with the official introductions. Now, for those who don't know, we got the videos rolling right now. I like for people to introduce themselves, because I'm gonna say you a mogul. I'm gonna say you a star in the city. You a host. Who is here at La Vulture today?
I am Will Feagins Jr. Graphic designer, filmmaker, director. I do windows.
What you need?
whatever you need. I make buttons, you know.
Salute.
Shine shoes. Whatever.
All right,
that's bills paid.
There you go. A Renaissance man. He's in the building, y'all. Oh, yes, that's him. No, he ain't got no more DVDs. No, you gotta go get him online. Let's start with background, because somebody's gonna say, if you's a rapper, how long you been rapping? You know what I'm saying? But now you're an artist, and we've had a lot of people here who claim to be artists, but yeah, they're like visual artists.
Right.
So do you fall into, I just do graphics on a computer, or are you actually like you can sketch, you can draw?
Well, I started out drawing when I was, as a teenager, but I kind of left that alone and moved over to the computer. I've been doing graphic design since like 93.
For sure.
I've been doing like videos since around that time too, like 91, 92. Yeah. And most of that starts as we say, as the hobby, or was it like, nah, this is my passion, like I got a camera? The graphic design was kind of it was a means to an end initially, because I used to produce.
Word up.
So I would create the designs for the tape covers.
Word.
So going from there, I kind of started doing graphic design projects freelance for like neighborhood restaurants and things like that.
For sure,
I saw that I could make some money from it. So from there, it got serious.
I believe it. No, I believe you. Now we're gonna have to narrow it down. Salute to everybody who's listening on Movements Radio right now, movementsradio.net. They're in the Baltimore, D.C. area. You know, and like you said, everything's kind of digital nowadays. But where would the roots be when somebody, and I play the roots, but where is the roots when it comes to you, sir?
To me, I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania?
Yes, sir.
You're from Pennsylvania. Work with it. And now why Atlanta? What you dropped in Atlanta?
Well, actually, I came down here with my job.
Okay.
My job was purchased by a company who had their headquarters in Roswell. And so they offered me the opportunity to move down here with them.
Nice.
And I figured it'd be easier to move with them than try to find another job. So there you go.
There you go. Follow the trail, yo. Salute to all our young people who are listening. And they say, well, I'm artistic too. I be sketching, and now I got the laptop. I'm scoodling and I'm doodling with my things.
Photoshopping.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Taking pictures of Granny and all that kind of stuff. So when it comes to actually a profession, and like this is what you actually do, how do you see, I guess, mentoring or spreading a good word to some young people? You telling them go straight to college, or do you tell them kind of do it on your own? Make it. You can be a self-made man and woman.
I would say it really depends on the person, because I don't have like a formal education in graphic design.
No doubt.
But, you know, if you're going to take that route, you still have to do the research. You still have to, I have, you know, at home, I have a library of books that are related to graphic design. It's probably even easier now because there's, you know, a bazillion YouTube videos.
How-tos.
You know, how to use the software and everything. But
Salute.
what's more important than knowing how to use the software is knowing the reasoning behind, you know, certain things like the layout and, you know, why the spacing on everything, why you do certain things.
Nice.
So then it won't matter what software you use as long as you have those basic principles behind it.
Believe it. Same way. Love Ultra Radio. We are the modern R&B mix show. There's always going to be a lot of people who are listening up late and they say, well, hold on, so that just means that you hustling? Like, no. This man is not hustling when it comes to graphic design. You've reached a plateau. You have some accreditation. So people know your name, sir. Get him just a little bit of the background, because again, when we just read off a paper, you and I, we having a conversation.
Right. So as far as
and we're saying for graphic arts, we ain't get to videos yet.
Well, I've done freelance work for most of the stuff that I've done back home, like Onyx Woman Magazine, the Urban League of Pittsburgh, Urban Youth Action, a lot of social service agencies.
Nice.
There's an agency called Lydia's Place. I used to do their newsletter and annual report every year. The YMCA of Pittsburgh, just a few like that. Yeah.
Nice. Very, very nice. And at no time was there any hesitation to say, well, you know what, I might have to just go only corporate. I can't do like hip hop and urban projects. Come on, now, you got to follow the money.
Right. Well, you have to have the balance, because I was still doing, you know, the stuff that I want to do on the side of, you know, in addition to the corporate stuff, because you know the corporate stuff is what pays the bills.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But I was still able to do it, you know, on my own terms. But I was still doing, you know, the CD covers for people and things like that.
Salute. All right. So salute to everyone else. We've had a couple of artists, visual artists, that have passed by the Love Ultra Radio, and we really do, as they said, real recognize real. And there's been a lot of talent over the years. Now, there is something I have in my hand that's called Change in the Game.
Yes, sir.
Now, somewhere in between you saying visual artists and graphic artists, you have picked up a camera. Now, there's been some developments from the Polaroid days to this digital age. So please explain, you know, because I'm a Nikon man, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you see the Nikon right there. So where did the love turn into, like, you know what, again, I need to take another level up with videography?
Well, it kind of started because, all right, so when I was back home and I was going to school, I went to the Art Institute. I went for the music and video business because originally I wanted to be an engineer.
Okay.
And work in a studio.
Run the boards. Gotcha.
That, you know, Pittsburgh being what it was at that time, because I went in like the early 90s, it wasn't, you know, as entertainment industry friendly.
True.
So I didn't, you know, I graduated and I ended up working at Pizza Hut. So
no shame.
But during that course, you know, when I was there, we had some courses on video production. So it was more based on like news and stuff like that, you know, studio. Yeah. So it wasn't like the stuff that I'm doing now, but it kind of gave me the basic principles of shooting and, you know, lighting and like that. So when I graduated, I didn't have access to the equipment, so I didn't do anything for a very long time. You know, it wasn't like how it is now. You know, you had to have some money if you were gonna do
exactly. You couldn't just borrow it like on the weekends. Like, no.
Right. No.
Love it.
So I ended up. Another thing that I used to do. So I used to be a poet.
Speak about it. Okay.
So I did a book, and I was doing some performances, and I got a little handy cam to kind of, you know, document
see yourself.
Everything.
Right.
Not necessarily not necessarily see myself, because I hate seeing, like, I do not want to see myself. Like, I will never watch this.
Okay, fans will download. Don't worry. It's going to be one of the trivia questions and give away a ticket later. Okay.
Right,
But
right.
understood.
Everyone else will see it except for me.
No doubt.
And I'm fine with that.
For sure.
So, just to document it, so I ended up going to Columbus, Georgia, and doing a show, and I filmed everything, and I kind of turned that into a DVD that I never watched. And that is kind of where it all started. And I, from there, I did a DVD for one of my friends, Sharon Dawn.
Okay.
He's an MC back home in Pittsburgh, and he was coming out with a new project, so we did a DVD of kind of his history and to promote the project called The Art of Life.
Now, the same way, and spreading the love, and obviously, so that's the basis of why you're here now, because it's about being underexposed.
Correct.
Now, come on now. I thought underground artists, we don't really want all that exposure. I don't like the video cameras in my face, man.
Well, I don't know any artist on any level that doesn't want to be, have some level of exposure, and that's what they're all fighting for.
Agree.
To have the equal exposure that mainstream artists have. With underexposed, that changed the title. Because originally it was underground artists, so I have independent artists, because people look at underground and independent differently.
Agree.
They have a certain kind of connotation when you hear the word underground. They have a certain. And to me, the people that I've come across here, the level of skill and professionalism. Far exceeds, where people would think they would be if they had underground attached to them.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. We're talking here live, Love Ultra Radio. When you say, all right, I'm going to go do this project, a lot of people work with you, they just came off the bat, it's like, I really don't know you, or it's like, I seen you in the streets.
By the time I did Underexposed, I had weaseled my way into the scene, so I had kind of developed some relationships with most of the people on the video by then. So it wasn't that much of a problem. Like I really got more than I was expecting.
No doubt.
During the course of the 2 days that I filmed that, there was like 40 people all total. And, I was thinking maybe like 10 or 15 would come out, and there was like people showing up that I didn't even know that knew about, the filming. Like J Live was like one of the first people that showed up on the scene.
Producer and artist. Okay.
It was really unexpected.
And how much of it, as you're saying, since it was unexpected, it wasn't scripted. We're living in a day of reality TV. So nobody said, hold on, let me do this one more time. Let me get my ATL face on. How much was the shooting? Like the 2 days, 3 days? It's a wrap?
Yeah, it was
one
just
take?
2 days. I don't think we had to do anybody over. If we had to do it over, it was because of background noise. Because it was like super windy that day, and we were outside for the most part. So that if we had to do any takes over, it was because of that. But again, with the people that I work with most of the time, they're usually just very genuine people. So when I'm interviewing them, they're giving me real answers, and they're not putting on for the camera.
For the camera. Love it, love it, love it. And the same way, it's UnderExposedATL. Is that how people are finding you in the project?
Yes. UnderExposedATL, and my website, wfjrfilms.com. They can find all my video work there.
Love it, love it, love it. Now, at the same time, we got some callers and some listeners. And so hold on, so is this just ATL? Just Underexposed ATL? Are you going on tour with this? Are we expanding? Are we going to see Underexposed Jamaica or something like that? I know some people down there. Come on now.
Hey, if the means are there. But when I first did it, the idea, because I'm sure it's an issue that people deal with in every city. I know back home, it was the same issue. independent artists trying to have the same exposure as the mainstream artists. I'm trying to get recognition and collaboration with the local radio stations and
Simple, right?
things like that. So the same struggle that my friends back home in Pittsburgh were having as artists, people here were having. So I could see where it could be an underexposed Dallas, underexposed Houston, underexposed Philadelphia, etc., and so on.
Nice. You heard it here first. You've done some work with Salem Psalms, the studio there.
Right.
I know that's a nice place. And we're going to take this opportunity. What are some of the things that you've recorded in Atlanta, such as like, no, you got to go to this studio, you got to be on Patchwork, you got to like name some names. I won't throw nothing out there. From the artist's perspective, and then from the videographer perspective, what are some of the things that are not known about in Atlanta? Well,
I would say that. Again, Salem Psalms is a well-known secret. He does excellent work.
I heard.
From the very first day that I met him, he's always just shown a lot of love, and that's why I deal with him aside from him just being really good at what he does. I would say like all of the artists that I deal with, I don't feel that any of them have the amount of exposure that they deserve for the level of talent that they have and the level of dedication that they have to their art and their craft.
And you support everybody. You out at the open mics, see everywhere.
I try to get out as much as I can. I haven't been out as much as I'd like recently, and I'm working on a new project, so I'm not going to be out as much as I'd like.
Dedication.
For the next few weeks, but in the long run, it will pay off.
We love it. And we're not saying that you don't see it a lot, but we're just saying it's nice to acknowledge it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From the rapper, from the vocalist, and now and people have to approach you as a professional videographer and graphic designer. So you have standards.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't call me after 10, Monday through Thursday. So on a business level, how do people connect with you and offer you some of that money that for your services?
Well, the best way is, again, my website, because I have access to my email throughout the day. I work full time, but I still have access to my email. So again, wfjrfilms.com is probably the best way. You can catch me on Twitter at UnderExposedATL and High Impact MDA, which is short for multimedia.
Okay.
On Twitter.
Okay, not that High Impact. I've been seeing that logo for a minute. Salute to everybody who's been doing some larger scale events, including like the Atlanta Film Festival and 83C. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to those people. They've been showing you love.
The Change in the Game, the documentary that came after Underexposed was premiered at the 2012 A3C.
Nice. So you're going to stay in the hip-hop community. He ain't going nowhere, y'all. He ain't going nowhere. We know that you also work with a lot of females. Are females underexposed as much in the ATL?
I would say even more so. Like, just in the entire industry altogether, female MCs have everything, all the problems and issues that the male MCs have times 3 easily.
Sweet. There you go.
And after I'm done with my current project that I'm working on now, I'm thinking of something specifically for them.
All right. Well, he's going to be in Atlanta. You're not going anywhere. So salute to everybody from the Philadelphia area.
Back home, people might be upset to hear that,
So I'm saying, come through. And what was the event you just came through this last weekend? We see a lot of Instagram. We see a full capacity audience at a gallery. Give them some background of what just happened.
All right. So this past weekend, I just went to Philadelphia for the Black Star Film Festival. It is their third year, and it's like a whole several days of black films and black filmmakers.
Nice.
I was able to go there and screen Underexposed for the Philadelphia crowd to expose, our people up there, and
There you go.
let them know that it's not just Young Jeezy and everyone else down here. There are some other facets of Atlanta hip hop here.
Sweet.
That need to be heard, should be heard.
And it's the same way. It's not when something goes wrong
Right.
that we're going to see them in the newspaper and the blog. We need to
Right.
see them well documented in a DVD format, or even, like you said, a short film right here. One more time, we applaud you from coming through. Let me be the person behind there. We applaud you. It's been a while. Will's in the building. So we might see you this Friday. We might see. We have to talk to him. We talk to Alex. We talk to Selected Princess. We gotta get you. Salute to everybody at Face Off Fridays. Like we said, every second Friday we're down at the MJQ Concourse. We might have to pull a DVD screen or something. We talk to some people about that. Make that happen. Thanks for coming through. You blessed us with Change in the Game. It's a short film. It's about the artist, the audience, and the change. So we're gonna actually have to invite you back, because there's a little bit more we need to talk about.
Yeah, and like I said, I have a current project that I'm currently working on. So bring me back, and I can tell you more. It's about hip hop fathers and how they balance the two lives. So I can give you more when I'm done.
Really?
So you have to bring me back.
Really now? All right, I'm gonna have to talk to you about that. It's Cool Dads Rock. That's what we say.
Right,
Cool
right,
Dads
right,
Rock.
right.
So it's a small world. A lot of things going on in Atlanta. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to play one more song. Salute you again for coming through, Brother Way. Beautiful. Music in the background. This is Stacey Barth, y'all. Hold on.